Hello, everybody. This is Wajeeh, and I believe in this current day and age, we have lost the essence of being a man, the core values of being a man, and this is somewhat a guide to being a man. And I'm just going to be sharing my lessons learned. And yeah, without talking about shenanigans, let's skip and just go directly to the points. So, faith is something that I uphold because it's just like the groundings of where you start to build from. So that's one thing. And I'm open to being wrong, by the way. I'm not saying I'm the right person or the only right person. I could be wrong, and I'm open to that. So you could point at that or point at whatever and put it in the comments below and let me know. I'll be more than happy to have a conversation. But if you feel like I'm right, then, give me a like, give me a subscribe, let me know, man. Yeah, morals and values, stand on them, don't flinch. Don't flinch. A lot of people just, in a moment of weakness, they just slip. So make sure you don't slip. One wrong slip, and it's a whole lot of consequences. And sometimes they are instant, and sometimes they are, long down the line of life. So, yeah, do not back off from what's right. It's pretty simple. Do not change your words. The word of a man used to hold, it used to be like a contract. That man gave me his word. That was like a contract. And now it's rarely ever found. Yeah. Do not chase women unless it's your wife, That's something else. Then, But do not chase women or girls. And both women and girls learn to differentiate. Money is one of the priorities of your life. Not the priority, one of the priorities. And your priorities should be your family, your brothers, and your work, and your health. And you could add more. It's not limited. Endure the trials, you shape your beliefs. I think whatever you go through, you grow through. And if you keep believing that, it will start, showing its results. But if you start becoming the victim, you become a victim to your own mind in a way. And a lot of things, the bad things, start happening once you shape those beliefs, those wrong beliefs. So be aware of those. Even when, it feels like, and I swear to God, I'm not motivating anyone out there. I fucking hate that word, by the way. Even though I know the value, but I'm not a guru. I'm just speaking what I have learned, and that's it. Take it or leave it. So, yeah. Habits can either build you up or break you down. This is especially true in everything. And this is a pretty big statement Because if you adapt or adopt the right habits, you become more efficient, better, good, and so on and so forth. But if you start, taking on the bad habits, could be drugs, could be, chasing the wrong woman, could be self doubt, wrong beliefs, so on and so forth. It's just a downhill slope. And I truly believe that, unless you bounce back. But if you indulge in those, yeah. It's essentially like this: never lie. That's where the problem begins, I feel like. Those small lies, you think they're meaningless, you think it's not going to affect you, but they affect you. When you lie once, you lie twice, thrice. So cut it off, cut it off where it begins, cut it right where the root is, and get rid of it. I think lies are like the gateway drugs, perhaps, to your downfall. It like begins there. If you trace it all the way back, it's like a small seed of lie where it just starts, you know, yeah. Be honest, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Do not cheat, pretty obvious. And I mean cheat in terms of your relationships, in terms of your, transactions, you could say, by word or by money or something, Yeah. Do not point fingers. That's one thing as well. Because whatever you point at, wherever you're pointing, it points back at you as well. Like your finger is almost like inverse. What you're pointing at is also reflecting back at you. It's a weird thing, but I think accountability and holding responsibility is something very important. You know, take accountability of your own actions in a way. Don't speak too much. Pretty straightforward, right? Just don't speak too much. Learn to read the room. Another really good thing to learn. Learn to read the room. A man knows how to self regulate. And as long as you self regulate, you learn to control almost anything in your life. Have manners, very simple. Be respectful, no matter the age, whoever you're dealing with. Do not treat them in a different way just because they're older or younger. Pretty simple. Do not be consumed by greed, lust, anger, or hate. All of those, it's just like, the seven deadly sins. Pretty much, do not be consumed. Learn to say, oh, it's my greed or my hate or my lust or my anger, or vengeance or hate or and so on and so forth. All those things. Learn to see them as they are and then step back. Violence is an option. So I think most people think the first thing in a violent situation is just to be violent. And I understand there are some situations where it's pretty crazy to say that. If someone's pointing a gun at you, if someone has a knife, And in those situations, I think violence should be met with violence. But in most other situations where you can back away from, you can keep a distance, do not engage. Just keep a distance, you know, calm the situation down. But if it comes to being violent, then fucking decimate the enemy. Do not do not flinch in those situations. If you go into a violent situation and it's escalating, meet it with 20 times the power and end it before it even begins. If you have no other options, just go all out. Do not limit yourself and hold accountability for everything. Do not mistreat or be mistreated. And this applies to everything. Mistreatment of things, of people, of other creatures, everything. And usually you know when you're mistreating because you question yourself, is this bad? And generally speaking, usually when you ask that, I think you're right most of the time. Pretty important thing, make boundaries. Learn to make boundaries with everyone. I mean everyone, besides God, of course. Um, with your family. I know this sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, this is true. With your family, with your friends, with your brothers, with your, you know, colleagues, everyone. Make boundaries. Be humble and don't show off. A lot of men are showing off these days. Showing off is, I feel like, almost this sort of self pleasure, or like pleasure, just the people who show off, they essentially get pleasure for getting validation or appreciation. I think it's not healthy. It's not healthy. Be thankful, gratitude for the small things, very important as well. Be thankful, gratitude for the small things. Most people have gratitude for the big things. I have a car, I have a family, I have, money, or so on and so on. Have gratitude for the small things. The things that you feel like everyone has, I think that's not true. They have, you have peace of mind, perhaps, quiet, water to drink, a book. I know it sounds stupid. Hair on your head. Have gratitude for the small things. Results over talking. Someone said this to me once. I would want, I would prefer, and I only judge people from their results rather than talking. It hit me like a freaking arrow, bro. Results over talking. If you need to prove your worth, shut the fuck up. Results. Learn the art of patience. The art of patience is very underrated. Most people think a bad situation, a bad injury, a bad mindset, a bad habit, a wrong belief is permanent. It's not. Let me give you the good news, it's not. Everything begins in here and everything ends here as well, you know. It's not reality. It's not real. What is real is this, you know, you, me. So out from here and, you know, just be present. Art and the art of patience, you know. Patience, 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 patience. Sacrifice for all the right things and learn the trade-offs. Learn the trade-offs. Sacrifice for the right things. Don't drown in the noise or be forced into a bad decision just because it's noisy, outside or inside. Learn to detach. Learn to detach. And I'll quote Jocko here. The art of detachment is something very important. Whatever it is, learn to step back from it and just, if you can't process it, just leave and then come back in a little bit, do something else, and then look at it from a distance, you know, from a detached perspective. Fear the consequences before your action or your inaction. Fear the consequences before your actions and inactions. Yeah. Judge people from their actions. Very simple, very straightforward. Eat clean. And the right things. I almost didn't recognize my own writing over here, but anyway. I was like, who the fuck wrote this? Like, oh shit, it's me. Yeah, eat the right things. Whatever you eat, it just shows up in you. It's essentially the food, the fuel that you put in your car. If you put some trashy ass fuel, it's not gonna perform. It's gonna break down. It's gonna have effects, consequences. It's not gonna be efficient, and so on and so forth. You can look at it from that perspective. And that's essentially your body. It's way more adaptable. It's way more sturdy in this sense, but I would still highly, highly suggest feed yourself the right things. You know, eat clean as possible. And I don't mean wash your fucking stuff before eating. I mean eat clean. Don't eat junk food, you know. Work out. I can't stress this enough. Working out can change your life, just like all of these things, you know, these small, small things. And if you add all of them up, sum all of them up, you start seeing definite changes in your life. Working out is a necessity. It's not something to compromise on. Do not make excuses, you know, for these things. Do not make excuses. Learn that you're making excuses. I'm tired, I can't do this. You can always do something. And working out doesn't have to be you lifting fucking 500 kgs of weights or like, running up and down Mount Everest and shit. No. Or swimming in like Antarctica, like in the ice. No. Do something. Burpees, push ups. Like, wake up, I will do 100 push ups and a 10-minute jog. Simple, right? Just do that. Start with something. Be the calm in the storm, but don't be the storm in the calm. Very, very important statement. When shit goes sideways, it's usually freaking very, very noisy. And then for some people, when they're in the calm, it starts becoming very noisy. And I can't remember who said this, but it was something like this where the warlike man in a calm world or without a world without war, essentially, the warlike man just starts a war within himself. It's something along those lines. Have a work ethic. Do not wait for purpose. Do the work that feeds your soul. Most people wait for purpose, think about purpose, so on and so forth. I think it's more about just go, do something. Like, if you do the wrong things, and I don't mean like wrong in that sense, but you wanted to work construction, but you started working in um, social media, let's say. At least you figured out you don't like to work in social media, and then you go to something else, and eventually, if you keep working, you find something and you find your purpose. Sitting idly never helps. Like, if you sit idle and do nothing and think about purpose, like, you're fucking sitting there like, some monk waiting for purpose to come down. It's never gonna come down. Just move, do something. Learn to know when to stop and take a break. Learn to know when to stop and take a break. Something very important too. Do not follow trends. Do not follow trends. Very self-evident. Grind culture is missing, and it's not healthy if it's not regulated. Grind culture is it's like one of those, could say almost like a quiet killer, because if you persist without, you know, any regulation, you could start pretty much breaking down, and all of these terms like burnout and so on and so forth. Learn the art of balance in all things. In all things. You could go to your work, you could go to your family, workouts, everything. Find your pace and don't look at others. Very important. The only person you should compare yourself to is the you from yesterday, but don't obsess over it. Just do, like, for example, this is just a very small, perhaps meaningless example, but if you did 10 push ups yesterday, you can do 11 push ups today. And that's that still counts as progress. In this age of social media, for the love of God, for the love of whatever is good in this world and the after, keep your fucking feet clean. Do not indulge in the the vulgarity, the meaningless stuff, the brain rot. Do not. Keep your feet clean. You can do that pretty much, you know. Follow the right influences. Do not look at these crazy people, you know. Do not look at those crazy people. They are just looking for clicks and you keep clicking. Not all hard choices are right, but never shy away from them. Step up for the challenge. And usually the hard choices are the right ones too, by the way. But not in all cases. Sometimes it's better to just let it be. Learn your limits essentially, like, but that doesn't define you. Learn your limits, but remember to exceed them as well. Don't give up just because it's your limits, you know. Exceed. Step up for the challenge. Responsibilities, manage them. Don't overdo. Prioritize and execute. Very simple. Very fucking simple. Prioritize and execute is one of those things where you can take it and apply to everything. If you're if you have a crazy fucking week, just prioritize and execute, and you won't even know when Sunday began and when did Thursday end. It's like, holy shit, the week just went by. So prioritize and execute. And sometimes, you know, just learn in the moment, whenever you're getting it done, not always, just step back and realize, you know, I'm doing it. Just for a second, I'm doing it, everything's handled. And it's like a very small thing, but helps you, gives you that self-confidence. Keep preparing. Don't let your brain trick you. Very fucking simple. Your brain is like a processor. So it processes everything. The thoughts, the things, whatever you look at. And if you don't realize that, and you're just processing everything, at one point it starts to like start tricking you almost if you don't realize that. It tricks you, it really does. And you could think, why am I thinking this? It's not about why you're thinking this, it's more about, you know, cool, my brain processed that, I thought about that, on to the next thing. Don't indulge, don't feed it, you know, because it's like creating a loop, you know. Questioning and all of those things don't help, doesn't help. Just move forward. Realize, understand, move forward. This is something I said in the beginning, and I'll say it at the end as well. Learn to differentiate between women and girls. Because Your weaknesses are your weaknesses. Once you realize that, you should appreciate that. I found out my weaknesses. Now you can improve them. You can make yourself stronger. It's not like now you're weak forever. No, you fucking found your weaknesses, man. Like most people don't find their weakness. Can you imagine that? They're just ignorant and just living and just in misery and they don't even realize it. At least you realized. That's the first step. Now you can improve, you can find ways to fix and move forward. Just fucking amazing, man. Just fucking think about that. Holy shit, you found your weakness? God damn, man. Congrats. That's how we should be. Remember, always, as long as you're alive, you grow. You always will grow. As long as you're alive. Death doesn't knock. It might just be right behind you. And this will be my closing statement. Actions above everything else. Start doing, start believing, and watch your life change. Start doing, and actions above everything else. That's it from me. And as I said, if you felt like there was anything wrong and you think there is something I missed, please, you're welcome to comment down and let's start a conversation. And if you think I'm right, just give it a like and a subscribe. And that's it. This is Wajeeh. And I also host a podcast, just talk about random different topics and things and perspectives and thoughts. So if you want to check that out, please do. As always, take care. I need to pause.